Parma, Italy may be famous for Parmesan cheese and Parma ham, but spend a day here and you'll discover Romanesque cathedrals filled with Renaissance frescoes, a ducal palace turned cultural treasure, and leafy parks where life flows to a graceful rhythm. In this video, I'll show you how to turn a single day in Parma into something unforgettable, and why some travelers might even choose to base themselves there instead of in Milan. Trains often run between Milano Centrale and Parma, and the trip takes a little more than an hour. Morning departures are frequent, and you'll find plenty of options to return in the evening. Here's something else to consider. Parma itself can be much less expensive for accommodation than Milan, with a quieter charm. A single solo traveler could happily stay here and make day trips into Milan, enjoying the best of both worlds. I really like the ambience of Parma, and I just might consider doing that on a future visit. From the station, it's an easy walk into Parma's historic core. The city is compact, and its narrow streets quickly lead to centuries of history layered within a few blocks. The Duomo di Parma, or the Cathedral of Santa Maria Assunta, dates back to the 12th century, a Romanesque masterpiece built on the site of an earlier church. Its facade is sober, built of warm stone with carved portals, but step inside and the drama unfolds. High above, Correggio's fresco of the Assumption of the Virgin bursts across the dome. It was revolutionary in the 1520s, with figures that seemed to tumble out of the clouds, angels and apostles spiraling upward in a dizzying illusion of space. Instead of a flat ceiling, it feels as though the roof has opened up into heaven itself. Beside the cathedral stands the octagonal-shaped baptistery, begun in 1196 and clad in soft pink Verona marble. Its octagonal plan was intentional, symbolizing the bridge between life and the eternal. Inside there are sculpted reliefs, and the painted vaults add layers of color. For over 800 years, Parma's infants have been baptized under this dome. A short walk leads to San Giovanni Evangelista, a Benedictine church rebuilt in the early 16th century after a lightning strike destroyed its predecessor. Here, Correggio's imagination soars again in the vision of St. John, a swirling host of angels and apostles. The carved choir stalls and the serene cloisters speak of centuries of monastic study and prayer still palpable in the quiet. Santa Maria della Steccata, built between 1521 and 1539, rose around a miraculous image of the Virgin that once drew pilgrims in such numbers that a protective wooden fence, a steccata, was erected. The church became a showcase of Parma's late Renaissance talent. Gilded stucco work, Parmigianino's elegant frescoes, and richly carved side chapels. It's also the burial place of members of the Farnese family, linking art, devotion, and dynastic pride. After a midday break for pranzo, or lunch, step into the Palazzo della Pilotta, a vast ducal complex begun in the 1580s under Duke Ottavio Farnese. Its name comes from the ball game Pelota, once played in its courtyards. But inside, it housed the administrative and cultural heart of the duchy. Today, it gathers centuries of art and architecture under one roof. In one part of the palazzo is the Teatro Farnese, built in 1618 entirely of wood by Giovan Battista Aliotti. This theater was designed for grand court spectacles, equestrian shows, elaborate pageants, and even mock naval battles. Though damaged in World War II, it was faithfully restored, and stepping inside feels like standing in the birthplace of modern theater. Another section is the Galleria Nazionale. Here you move through Parma's artistic legacy. These rooms trace a story of ducal patronage and artistic ambition. Then there's the Biblioteca Palatina. Founded in 1761 by Duke Philip, this library still functions today. The Sala di Maria Luigia, the long golden hall you see in this photo, is lined with walnut shelves and thousands of rare books and manuscripts. It's not just a display. Scholars still work here, continuing a tradition of learning that spans for centuries. When it's time for a break, cross the Ponte Verde to Parco Ducale, once the private gardens of the Farnese dukes. Its avenues of trees and calm, reflective pools invite you to just slow down. This park has witnessed centuries of change, yet it still feels like Parma's living room, where locals walk, cycle, and gather. Back in the center, take time for a stroll along Strada della Repubblica or Via Cavour, where tradition meets style. Elegant boutiques stand beside food shops stacked with Parmigiano Reggiano and shelves of balsamic vinegar. You might step into an old cafe for a coffee or simply enjoy the rhythm of a city that balances refinement with everyday life. Simple, authentic, and a reminder that Parma's reputation for good living isn't just in history, it's alive on every plate. Before you leave, taste the city's pride. Parmigiano Reggiano, aged to perfection for months to years. I always buy a big chunk of this Parmesan cheese in Parma to bring home with me. I nibble away at it over the next few weeks when I get home to bring back fond memories of my Italian holiday. And Parma ham, Prosciutto di Parma, sliced paper thin, has a distinctive, delicate sweetness, not overly salty, with a melt-in-the-mouth texture. It's a product of patience and craft, not additives. Just an hour by train from Milan, Parma is a city that is slightly off the beaten tourist track, but makes for a great day trip. From frescoes to fountains, libraries to leafy parks, Parma blends art, history, and flavor in a way that few cities can. A day trip is enough to whet your appetite. Staying longer? Well, that might be even better. Safe travels. See you next time.